Ahora sí, I was in mute, but hello, my friends. Hola, amigos. This is Casa Teatro, and this is our Afro-Latino week. Today is the last day, but we left the best for the last day. Today we have a special guest who's gonna share with us his work. He's been working a lot um, about the Afro-Mexicans. Exacto. Yo soy mexicana. I'm from Mexico. And this is something that many people don't know about this community that we have in Mexico. So, here we go. Les voy a presentar a nuestro amigo. Lo voy a decir mal, de seguro voy a decir mal tu nombre. Lo he practicado. I've been practice your name, and I'm going to end saying wrong. Yves Tchakomi. No?
Yeah, yeah.
I
This is
did
good.
it
This
right.
is good. This is a good
Perfect.
pronunciation of my name. Okay, so
Thank you. Thank
uh,
you.
thank you so much, Monica. Good night. So we're gonna to speak in English or Spanish as you want.
Un poquito inglés y español. Well, let me tell you something. If he is from France, you're gonna say how he's talking about Afro-Mexicans. He's French. Well, he's gonna tell us in a few minutes how this idea to express his art, photography, photografía, uh, related, everything related to the Afro-Mexicans. That would be my first question for you before you start with your presentation. Why? How this happened? ¿Cómo decidiste tú hacer este proyecto? Start doing all this, taking all these pictures about the Afro-Mexicans. Tell us a little bit.
Yes, Monica. Thank you so much for these questions. It's been almost 3 years that I've been living in Mexico now. I came to Mexico in 2018. And before I came to Mexico, I was a bit investigating about the country, the culture, the roots. Me, since I'm a child, I always wanted to live in Latin America, to have this Latin American experience. So I was very excited to go to Mexico. And I wanted to know if I could find there also my African roots, because I know that in whole Latin America, there is this influence, this mix, this cultural diversity, and I wanted to know more about it in Mexico, no? And the thing is, people in Mexico first was telling me, oh no, there is no like African influence. It's not like Brazil, it's not like Cuba, it's not like Colombia. But I was just curious and I wanted to be sure about it. And I began to investigate and I began to do my search. And at the end, I wanted to to tell the story of these people, because a lot of people here in Mexico don't know them. A lot of people don't know that they have this culture, this community in their country. And for me, that is from France, I was very surprised. I was very like, come on, very happy. And I was really thinking that, yes, in this country, there is such huge diversity that even me from France, with African roots, I can find again these roots here in this country. So it was more like intellectual curiosity that bring me to this community and this project that I want to share with you today.
Wow, that's what you say is true. Many us Mexicans, we think, okay, well, I don't think there were we call people the dark skin morenitos. We can say, yeah, we have morenitos here. We have people with dark skin, but we don't know that there's a lot of people who really are Afro-Mexicans. They have another uh, how to say it, they sometimes some beliefs, sometimes some kind of traditions that comes from Africa, because they're descendants of Africa. So all those slaves who came from Africa, and that's something that we have to learn and we have to also embrace, because it's part of the culture. It's beautiful to have all this difference in one country.
And I think it's a point very important that you mention it, and thank you for this, because when we're talking about Afro-Mexican, in this study, I'm talking about Afro-Mexican with ancestor that were brought to Mexico as slaves. That means that there are Mexicans since centuries, like since the colony, like the Spanish colony. So in its story, there are Mexicans since centuries. Right now, because Mexico is a country very dynamic with a lot of migration. So right now we can see like some migrant with African roots, but my study is more on the first category. That means people with ancestors like in the country since centuries. And I think it's very interesting and important to distinguish these two categories, because when I was when I was meeting these people, uh, when I was traveling to meet them and to do my study, um, there are people totally Mexican, like with Mexican culture, but we can find in this Mexican culture like uh, the mark, the influence of Africa since centuries and centuries. And this is very interesting to share it, because this is Mexico, just another look on Mexico, another side of Mexico. But I think it's because Mexico have all these sides in this culture, all this variety, that Mexico is a rich country. It's not just about natural resources or economics.
Yeah.
It's about people. And when we have like a country with such diversity in the culture, such richness in the culture, we are a strong country that can be strong enough for the challenge of the future. And I wanted to show that even in this country, we can have this kind of roots that a lot of people here don't know, and that's a pity, I think.
I mute myself. I'm sorry. To do this in the computer sometimes slow. We I think you're right. In my country and all Latin America, there's so much diversity that we have to embrace everybody, not just the indigenous people, but also the people who they didn't decide to come. They brought them to our country as slaves, and they stay there, and they're part of our culture right now. They're part of the country. So to know a little bit more of them, I'm so glad that you did all this investigation so we can share it with the people here in Memphis and everywhere who's watching right now the video. I'm gonna make a break and say if you have questions, my friends, send us your questions right here and right here down here. Send us your questions so Ivis can tell you about his experience and about all everything about the project investigation that he did with the Afro-Mexicans. So let's start with you, project. Let us know about what you have for us regarding the Afro-Mexicans.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. So for this event, I prepare like some slides. So what I propose you, I will present my slide, my presentation, and
Okay.
then I could like introduce you to my virtual gallery, Nzima, and after I will be very happy to reply to all your doubts and reply to all your questions about the project, the documentary, and uh, and we will finish like this. So
Okay,
yes,
perfect.
super. Okay, so I will share my screen.
Okay.
I
Oh,
think
by the
that
way,
you can see my screen right now.
no, I can see myself.
Okay, so
Okay,
maybe we need to.
there we go. Perfect. I can see it now. I can see it.
It's okay.
Perfect.
You can see it.
Yes, we can see your
Okay,
screen now.
so perfect. So First of all, I just wanted to thank you for the invitations. When I did this project, so as I told you, I wanted to know more about um, the African roots of Mexico. And I had like this question, like how the African heritage here in Mexico contribute to its influence and cultural diversity by inscribing its history and its unique ethnic heritage in Mexican identity. But I also have another objective when I did this project. I wanted to give a voice, a strong voice to marginalized people, to a marginalized community. I wanted to present this community to the world because, I mean, I don't think that it's fair that they are not known by their Mexican citizens themselves if they contributed in the culture of this great country. No? So before going, before moving forward, I just want to present me. So who am I? So me, I'm Yves Tchakomi. I'm born in Marseille in 1992. Um, I'm from an international family. I have family in um, several different countries, like in Africa, in Canada. And my first trip, like my first great trip, was in Africa in 29. And it was the first time that I really did photography, that I was really interested to tell story about with photography, no? So in 2017, I got my graduation as doctor of pharmacy. And in 2018, I moved to Mexico. So it was like, I think, a big event in my life because, as I told you at the beginning, I always wanted to discover, if I can tell it like this, discover Latin America, to live in Latin America because I was impressed by the culture, the diversity. I was impressed by the language, by the dance, by a lot of things. And I really wanted to have the chance one day to live in this beautiful continent, no? And in 2019, I had the opportunity to do like a first contest. It was like a speech contest and also a photography contest. And I had the chance to, I had the chance to, come on, the chance. I don't know if it's really a chance. I think it's a lot of work to win this award. And for the first time, I win something with photography because me, photography is like a hobby, a passion. But what I love with photography is that we can teach very easily, tell story very easily through art, some important um, important facts through art. And I think that art it's like an universal language, and it's for me my way, another way of expressing that I really love, and and I'm very happy now to have the opportunity to do this kind of project. In January 2020, I create Nzima. It's like a virtual gallery where I can expose my photography, when I can like express myself in another environment than my job, no? So I have this liberty. So I did this project about Afro-Mexican. It's the first project of my gallery. I wanted to talk about multiculturalism, human rights. Um, my other project will be about health. So I just wanted to have my own space to express myself through art that is an universal language with people, no? And and I'm very glad, I'm very happy tonight to have this opportunity from you, to have this interest from Casa Teatro. Uh, and I think it's a good new step. In July 2020, I had my first exhibition with the Mexican Cultural Institute of Washington, that is like the Art Institute for Mexico, uh, that is attached to the Embassy of Mexico in Washington. So this exhibition, this presentation tonight is a second step in uh, my duty, my mission why I'm doing that, I have a mission, because when I did this project, with Afro-Mexican, I wanted to share the story of people. That's not my project. That's their project. And me, I'm just a humble contributor. I'm just a humble speaker that I want to share their story. I want that the face and the story of these people can have a greater voice, and I want to support them in their fight to be recognized because they are all Mexican citizens. And I think something like nobody can be like discriminated by its background or by its origin. At the contrary, I think that the greatest richness of a nation is the diversity of its people. And this is why I wanted to be their voice. And when had this opportunity with the Mexican Cultural Institute, and now I have the opportunity with Casa Teatro, it's awesome because at the end, I'm reaching my goal, give a voice to these people. These people in Mexico, they are according to the national census, it's like 6% of the population, but we are not very sure because it's very hard to count them. Imagine if your own country has difficulty to count you, how difficult can be to have like policy in favor of your community. This is why we need like some humble actors like me, to like share their story and to make them recognized. No,
I
why?
agree with.
Yes, yes, and this is why I just wanted to project this sentence that is very important for me. Mexican culture is not unique, but is the result of heterogeneous sets of different cultural expressions. And this is very strong. Okay. So now I just have a little video. Please, if you can if you can, how to say uh,
Share the video,
yeah, no, shut
like it.
the micro because I can listen some noise. I don't know if you can put the micro on off
Okay.
as I can share this. Look, okay, it's the video is in Spanish, but after I would like do a summary. I just want to share this video to show you that I was in the field. I meet these people, and now I'm just like giving them their voice. Okay, so please. Hemos estado invisibilizados desde que nacimos, quién sabe cuántos, muchísimos años invisibilizados. Pero ahora estamos. Nuestros ancestros no llegaron para acá por gusto, sino porque los trajeron como esclavos. Esclavos, claro. Desnudos, los desarraigaron de sus países, desnudos, sin ni siquiera ropita, así nada más. Pero predominamos, sobrevivimos. ¿Y quiénes sobreviven? Los afros. Yes, aquí estamos. Okay, so the video is very important for me because first, that's showing something. When I did this documentary, I was in the field. I met the people. I was in a city called Cuariniculapa. It is a city in the state of Guerrero. So I met these people. I listened these people. And what they are doing in this little video, they are doing that this is a community invisible for the nation. It's a community that a lot of people don't know. But this community know very well its roots, know very well that their ancestors were brought to Mexico as slaves. Uh, it's been like centuries, um, maybe 4 centuries. So So they know their story and they know how their ancestors were suffering. But despite all of this, they are surviving. And in this video, I don't know if you can understand Spanish, but there is like something very great at the end of the video. It's like they are proud of their heritage. And it's very important because when you are proud of your heritage, you got an ambassador of your own culture. And when you accept to get an ambassador of your own country, you are doing something great. You are saying that you want that this culture um, keep surviving in the time, over the time. And they are the words of this woman. They are saying, we are surviving. We are surviving. And how could you translate this? It could it could mean that when you know where you came from, you can find the argument to know where you want to go. And you should be proud of your heritage. You should be proud of your genetic and your ethnicity. And they are proud despite of all the difficulty to be in this community. They are proud because they know that they are ambassador of a great culture, the African culture. So this is very important for me to begin with this video and to begin with this proudness. They are not complaining. They are proud of themselves. And this is very important because the most important things is the attitude that you will have to face the difficulty in your life. No? So the second picture that I want to show you, it's like this picture. So there is like something very commonly accepted is to say, oh, Mexico is like a country with the indigenous world, indigene world, and the European world. And this is a mix between these two worlds. Well, this is wrong. This is not just a mix between two cultures. It's a land of colors. It's a land of miscegenations. There are much more than two cultures. And African culture make part of these great miscegenations that made Mexico. And it's very important because with a misconception, when you are excluding a community, you are doing exactly the contrary of building an inclusive society. So when you are marginalizing, discriminating like some part of your own nation, of your own culture, I mean that you are sacrificing some part of your own identity that could be your strengths. So it is very important to know that they make they make part of all these colors of Mexico. African roots, African culture make part of all these colors of Mexico and make part of all these miscegenations. And the good things is when you are keen, when you accept this miscegenation and you accept that your country is a lot of different colors, you can see that it's more richness than anything. And when I was like meeting the people, when I was like, for example, I meet this man like I was in this house and it's man like he's an Afro-Mexican, okay? So he know the culture from his father, from his grandfather, etc., etc., etc. Heredero de la historia, heredero de su propia historia, no? So he's able to play an instrument. This instrument was an instrument with African roots. When the slave came, so they get Mexican with their instruments and with their habits. And now, centuries after this, we still have this instrument, these habits that make part of Mexico. But it's not African anymore. It's like African roots, but it's totally Mexico since it's totally Mexican since centuries and centuries. And I just wanted to show you like the importance to have like uh, uh, this photo because for me it's in evidence to reply to my questions. How the African heritage contributes to its cultural diversity. So you can see this in this city by music, for example. And art is very important in the heritage of Africa in Mexico. So this is why now I'm gonna to introduce you to La Danza de los Diablos. So I think that La Danza de los Diablos is one of the most incredible cultural treasure that Afro-Mexican community shared with me during my study, and a strong evidence that multiculturalism is a true richness of the Mexican identity. You know, because a lot of things can disappear, but culture and people will be last over time. And this is why it's very important when you want to show the strengths of a nation to show the strengths of its culture. No, so it's very important, and I really wanted to share this with you. So about La Danza de los Diablos. So it's a cultural treasure. I mean, it's like I'm gonna to tell you about this dance. What does it represent, this dance? Okay, so it was a dance that the first slaves were doing to ask for freedom to their god, their god Ruja. So they were asking for freedom. So this dance is a dance for freedom. Bailar por la libertad. And I think that's a great message to humanity. When we are dancing face to an injustice, you are achieving a great revolutionary act for freedom because dancing is freedom. And when I had this opportunity to get photographies, pictures of this dance, I knew the chance that I had. And I knew that it will be maybe like the most thankful moment of this trip, no? So I was very like, estaba muy emocionado. And, um, and I wanted to share with you this dance because in this dance, we are showing, we are getting evidence on a lot of things. Dancing face to an injustice is a great revolutionary act for freedom because dancing is freedom. Also, our Afro descendants is a bridge between different cultures. Me, I'm born in France. I'm French. Okay, so it is true, I'm French, but I have African roots. And even in Mexico, in a country such different than my native country, I can find my African roots. And that is incredible because my Afro descendants was a bridge between different cultures. And this is very great because at this moment, I know that I'm an ambassador of something greater than mine. And and my mission at this moment is to share this message. And it's interesting because Casa Teatro, this organization, is like it's based in United States of America. And I think like in United States of America, we have a lot of Afro people. We have a lot of Latinos people. Actually, we have the world in US. We have the world living in the same country, a melting pot country. And I think the great strength of this country is this variety. In this country, we can find a lot of people with Afro descendants. And I'm gonna tell you something. You Afro descendants is a bridge between different cultures. Is a bridge with my culture from France, is a bridge from other culture from Africa, also Mexico and another of other country. This is why, because you are Afro descendant, because you are ambassador of this connection between different culture, you need to be the best people, the best tolerant people, and the best people able to know the difference of other cultures and to always fight against marginalizing. But we're going to this now. Okay, so when at the beginning of my presentation, I told about one of my other objective is to give a voice to marginalized people and communities. Okay, it's very important because me, I did this project firstly by intellectual curiosity and because I really wanted to find in a country where I've been living for such a long time, a part of myself in the country, no? And I was thinking it's not fair that a community be so marginalized. Why I'm saying they are marginalized? For example, and this is evidence, when I was doing my research, I could see that maybe almost 15% of the people in this community cannot read. So the illiteracy rate was the 15%. So three more time than the national average. When I was investigating, I also understood that a lot of social politics was excluding this community, and sometimes some politicians was not recognizing this community as a Mexican community. And this is why I wanted to give them a voice. This is why I wanted to have an exhibition with the Mexican Cultural Institute. This is why I wanted to present this to Casa Teatro, because I wanted that these people excluded have a voice that could help them, support them in their life to share their message in the public debate, because yes, their lives matter and it is very important. I think that we should not be discriminate any community or any people from history because of its background, of its diversity, because I trust that this background and this diversity is the real richness of humanity, no? So, and this is why we have this sentence very important. When you are doing a kind of project like this, you are not doing for yourself. Yes, you are doing a bit for yourself because you are very curious and you really want to discover something in yourself, but knowing the other one. So it's very important. But you have to be aware that it's a kind of project greater than yourself, no? You have to be aware that at the end, when you are doing this project, when you are sharing my pictures, when I'm using art to tell the story, it's because at the end, I'm in love with justice and I'm in love with humanity. And I wanted to help with my own weapons, that is art, to support them in the fight against injustice or discriminations. Because, and you can believe me, you can trust me, it's always up to us to stand up against any discrimination or any kind of injustice. And when you have the opportunity to stand up against it, you have to do it. And it's very important. And for me, I wanted, and this is why I create Nzima Gallery, because I wanted to have this space to stand up against injustice and discriminations. So this is why I wanted to create this gallery. It was very important for me, and it was something that helped me to express myself in another way than my work, my daily work, and everything. No, okay. So as I told you, this project is not totally mine. It's the project of the Afro descendants of the Costa Chica. So they are the real stars of the project. They are the main actors. Me, I'm just someone sharing their story. I'm just like an artist with my camera and I'm just sharing the story. But this project can exist thanks to them. And I'm just using this kind of photo to tell my story. And I just giving them, thanks to art, a voice, no? And this is my commitment. This project is for the Afro-Mexican. And before presenting you my future gallery, I just want to share with you something. There is not only one African Mexican culture. So me, I had the opportunity to be in the Costa Chica. So I've been to Cuarinicuilapa and I've also been to Chacagua. So this photo, for example, was in Chacagua, and there is like different dance. I mean, in Mexico, you can also find other community. If you are going to Veracruz, you can have like another community. So it's a very interesting topic, because me, I did my job with like some communities, but there are others communities. So it's very important to mention it, as uh, uh, you can understand that is very like a large community. And before presenting my gallery, my virtual gallery, I just wanted to have like some words with this picture. Why? Because this picture for me is very important. When I was doing my documentary, so I was meeting families. So I've been invited to eat with some Afro-Mexican families, and at the moment I was like walking in the streets with another friend, photographer that was living in the city, and we've seen this woman, Irma, and okay, this uh, photograph, como my friend, uh, went to talk with her. So they were discussing, and he explained her that I was doing this project for Afro-Mexican and etc. etc. And invited me to tell her hello to Irma. And of course, I was very, very happy to meet her. Okay, she's this woman is like 101 years old. And when she saw me and I talked to her, she went into her house and she went back to me and she offered me as a gift a handmade embroidery. And she told me something like, I want to give you this embroidery as a gift so that you will never forget me. And she was like 101 years old. And she asked me to never forget her. And I was just like meeting her for the first time. And I think it's a very important moment of my documentary, because we need to remember. We need to remember of people. We need to remember of people because the people have the story. we need to have this kind of project because we need to share stories of Afro-Mexican people and every marginalized community. Because when the memory disappears, the people is disappearing. So when we want to immortalize something, we need to share the story. And this is why I want to share the story of Afro-Mexican, because I want that they got immortalized in the history because their lives matter. And it was very important moment because I think that this, I don't want that you forget me. It's like one of my motivations. I don't want that people could be marginalized. I don't want that these people disappeared from the history. I don't want that these people be erased from the history because their lives matter. And this is why it is my mission as artist, but above all as human being caring for every community to share the story. Okay, so thank you so much for these presentations. And right now, what I would like to do is like showing you my gallery. So look at this. I will show you my gallery. So let me a little moment. I'm gonna share with you this. Okay, so share my screen, this. Okay. I think that now, can you see my gallery?
I can see it now. I can see
Yes. Okay.
it.
So you know that with the COVID, okay, maybe with the COVID, I needed to be a bit inspired. So I create a virtual gallery. So not alone. Huh? I was very helped with a company that helped me to design my gallery. You know what? When I began to do photography, one of my dream was to expose. I was like, oh, someday I would like to expose. But with the COVID, it was very hard. The museum was closed, but I said, okay, I will expose, but virtually. And at the end, for the first time, my photo are exposing. So this is my gallery. You can see all my photos, all my projects. And when you are in the gallery, you can see, I think that the photo are nicer, like in that mode. It's very nice too. It's better than a PowerPoint. And you can see all the selected photo that I presented with my collaboration with the Mexican Cultural Institute of Mexico in Washington. So this is all my photo. I invite you to make a round if you want. And also you have the story there. And also there is a surprise. You can have like the voice of the inhabitants of people.
Al pasar por una huerta me corté una dulce caña. No soy blanca ni bonita, tú porque quieres te engaña. Mi color es trigueñito, pero sin ninguna maña. No lloro porque te vas y triste porque me dejas.
Okay. And
Wow,
on
that's
this, I will
wonderful.
let you. Thank you, Monica. Okay, so for me, it's everything. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope that you got like a very nice moment. Now I'm available to reply to your questions.
How people can get in your gallery? Do you have a website or how they can see this? How can they go to your gallery?
Okay, so my gallery right now normally it's closed, so I'm the only one with this access because the public exhibition is closed. But if I have like a lot of requests, I can open it again, no? But for the
Oh,
moment it's closed. But you can have access to my photo on my Instagram. So it's Nzima Gallery, and you can have access to my photo there that I will publish. But the gallery for the moment is closed to the public.
okay, perfect. Well, my friend Cici, this is really interesting. I'm from Mexico. There's a lot of things that I didn't know, and I'm learning right now. I'm learning a lot. And like you see, the idea to have the Afro-Latino Week is also to show you that we have more things in common that can unite us than things that can separate us. And
Yeah.
this is something. Wow.
And this is exactly the message that I wanted to share with people. We have more things in common that united us than separating us. Like even me, like from another country, another culture, I got the chance to find a lot of things that could me feel in Mexico at home. And this is incredible.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Those costumes, they look so fantastic. They're kind of scary. Let me tell you, a little scary, but that's great. It shows part of their culture or Afro-Mexicans. Look at that. Wow. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you. Thank you first for taking the time to do all this investigation, for taking the time to go and take pictures and do the videos and all this. Uh, because sometimes we really, really need to know more about ourselves, about our people. And this is just fantastic, really. I love
Thank
it.
you so much, Monica. Thank you for the interest of Casa Teatro. And I hope that when the quarantine will end, to have the opportunity to meet you.
hmm we're talking about maybe if there's a chance in the future when things start open, maybe we can invite Ives to come and share those moments live with us. We have a question. To Lutz Raisel, they say, I agree that diversity is richness and that we all profit from it. And it has yet to reach the magnitude of all it has to offer. For that to happen, individuals and mindsets needs to change. Yeah, a lot of things need to change, and the best way to change is learning about the people. In short, discrimination will have to stop. Thank you to Lucy. Thank you so much for those words. I think we always say in Casa Teatro, the more you know about your neighbor, the less afraid you're going to be, and the strongest your community will be. I think that is great. Valentina, and a wonderful presentation. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you, Valentina. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, this is, uh, many people will say, it's kind of hard to change sometimes. So years and years to think that in one community there is just two kind of people, the conquistador, for example, in Mexico, and the indigenous people, without knowing. You said before, you said that there is all these people who came, who was brought to our country. They didn't want to come. They were brought to our country and they start mixing. And sometimes we just think in two parts of the story and we leave this small story aside. I think it's time, and you're working on that, to embrace it and say the Afro-Mexicans are part of the story, are part of us, are part of the community, and learn about the things that they do. Those two ladies that you have at the beginning, the way they talk and the way they feel so proud, their heritage, it was great. To talk the way they were talking about, they were brought here, but they are strong and they still going. They embrace their heritage. They embrace to be Afro-Mexicans. I love that part.
Thank you.
So I think my microphone is making a weird noise. I'm sorry. I don't know why. So sorry. So sorry. So the time is going. Thank you. Thank you so much. tell me, do you have another project in the future, another chance to do more about learning about another community or something else that you have in mind?
Yes. Actually, I have in mind another project with vulnerable communities in the state of Chiapas, and I will do this time. I will love to do a project more focused on healthcare, acceso a la salud en las poblaciones más vulnerables, ¿no?
Uh-huh.
Entonces, the access to the health of this vulnerable population. So I'm thinking about it. I would like to do this. I would like that this project will be the second project of Nzima. So I'm working on it, and yes, if you want to hear more about it, we are connected, Monica.
Yes, please let us know. Casa Teatro is not just about the theater, but it's also about the culture and learning about everything, everything. Do Luz say thank you, thank you. I continue your good job. I'll be looking forward to your future projects. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Perfect.
And we'll be looking in, we'll be hoping maybe in the future, we're gonna cross fingers, to be able to have him here in Memphis in the Mid South, and I to have him here and talk a little bit more about this, about uh, the love that he starts showing through his photographs about the culture of the Mexican, the Afro-Mexicans, and the culture in general. I love those pictures, especially the dancers. The diablos, los diablos, ¿cómo se llama?
La danza de los diablos.
La danza de los diablos. The name sounds scary, but the dancers. I saw a video before about the dancers. It's so much fun. It's good. It's really, really good. Really, really good. There, so give. I'm sorry. I'm sure this happened to you. Between you think in one language and you try to talk in another language, your tongue is stuck.
Yeah, something it's happened. I can understand.
And it might happen more often to you because you speak French, Spanish, and English. So,
Yes.
one of the things that I want to ask you, uh, being being from France and see everything around the world, going places and things, let me know. It is really a big difference between the people. I'm not talking about the color. I'm talking the people, the
Yeah,
answer.
I understood.
Uh-huh.
Um, how to say? Okay. So I will say that there is a difference between people, but I don't know if we can say it's a difference because we are in Mexico, in difference because we are in France, because even in France, there is a lot of different people. And in Mexico, there is a lot of different people. So we can never generalize like a population or people because they are from this country or from this country. Me, for example, in Mexico, I found some people like I was feeling that they were born in the same city than me, and they had the same habits than me. They had like the same favorite books than me, and they were born in another country. So we cannot generalize like if they are different. I think like in one country there is a lot of a variety of culture, and in Mexico it's the same. So this is why it's so important because, and it's not about like it's not about some roots, about color of skin. It's not about this because in the same country you can have a variety of personalities, and this is doing the richness of a country. So I cannot say like, oh, in Mexico people are like this and France like this. No, we can never generalize. I can find people that I was feeling more close, and we have like a different like background, and I was feeling much more closer than people that were my neighbors in Europe, for example. So I think, and this is the richness of the things, because you have to embrace all the variety of background and culture to to uh, to build like a society very inclusive, because it's not about color of skin, it's not about like African roots. Like in this project, I focus on it because I wanted to give the voice to Afro-Mexican people, and it was very important. But actually, I find here in this country people like me, like thinking like me, and having the same hobbies than me, and they had a totally different background and total different culture at the base, and this is what I'm looking for. So I cannot generalize between France or Mexico.
Well, I'm gonna ask you something aside from your work, aside from the what we're talking about, because you're in Mexico. Tell me what you enjoy the most in Mexico. What is the something that you really like, and you say this is the reason why I'm here? Maybe what is that thing that you really like? That you really
Well, you know what, Monica? It's been almost 3 years that I'm living in Mexico. That means something. There is a lot of things that I really love. But the thing that really, really love, you, I think that it's what the Mexican called la buena onda.
La gente es buena onda.
Yeah, yeah. I really love that in Mexico it's very important to be buena onda, and I really love like this way of, you know, like to see how the life is. Like if you want to integrate in this country, if you want to have friends, you need to be buena onda. It's very important to understand what does it mean. And la buena onda is something that I really, really love, like this way of living the life. Me encanta.
Yeah, but I'm so glad that because I can see you're buena onda too.
Yes,
Buena
of
onda.
course.
Okay, I thank you so much. Thank you. I thank you so much. Gracias mil. Gracias for being here. Thank you for sharing your art. Thank you for sharing everything. And more than anything, thank you for being open to learn about another culture, about to meet new people, and also to be interested and investigate and learn more and share that information. Not just keep it to yourself, but share it with everybody. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your words, Monica. Thank you so much for your interest in my work, to invite me tonight. And by doing this, Casa Teatro now make part of the project, because you are helping me, supporting me to share the story, and it was my missions. And when you are doing this, Monica, you are making part of the project. So as a team, thank you to you too.
Thank you to you. Muchísimas gracias, amigos, my dear friends. Thank you. This was the last day, but you can still see the videos on Casa Teatro Facebook. Muchísimas gracias. I thank you y gracias. Muy buenas noches a todos. Un beso.
Gracias, bye bye, hasta luego.